40 chess. Yeah. 40 chess. 40 chess. Let's get it.
Yo, is that T-Dog?
40 chess. 40 chess. Hey. 40 chess. This a trade show. Patreon where the trades go. Tap in and watch. That's what you came for. Ain't gotta say my name. They know my name, bro.
What's good, man?
We got McNutted in ATM. Always start off the show with a trade from them. You should always make sure that your trade is in. Patreon, why not be a Patreon? Know you wish you could spend every day with them. Tap in and say what you gon' say with them. South Harmon can fill up a stadium. Next time you log in, make sure that you bring a friend. We about to kick off, let the day begin. Go follow the socials. 40 Chess FF is posted. If your trade is an F, you get roasted. Go like and subscribe for the crew. Apple, Spotify, and the YouTube. You know Cooper got the warp too. Let us give you a walkthrough. 40 Chess. This is 40 Chess.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Dynasty Trade Show. We're recording this right before Thanksgiving, but you guys will be watching it on Saturday. So first and foremost, I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday and Black Friday. And apparently we get football like every day this week, which is
all of them. I'm thankful for football every day. Hopefully bad football is like sex, Mike. Is it ever bad? I mean, not really. You have bad games, but I'm still watching football, you know?
Chicks before. I mean, no offense to her, you know?
No, of course.
Like, I get it.
Sure.
Not everyone's, prime rib.
You don't think you're everyone's best time?
No.
I wish you weren't a liar.
Not everybody's best time, but, it happens.
It's kind of
like up for it with enthusiasm.
It's kind of like a trade, It doesn't, some are better than others,
We're off to a rip-roll start here. Whiskey's flowing. Let's get to some deals, Adam. Patreon.com/South Harmon if you want to be part of the show. $5 tier, but there's tiers for everybody. There's stuff for everybody. A lot of good stuff besides the trade show. Like probably tomorrow night when we're watching football on Thursday night in voice chat, getting drunk and talking shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll hate our families, apparently. Sorry, gotta go watch football with the boys.
Sorry, not sorry. Mike, let's get into the deals here. All right, Mike, first deal here. We have Spacenfeld and old J-Dub. You start 10. So we got 12 teams, Superflex, half PPR, half tight end premium. Starting 10 lineup league. One league to rule them all. I feel like 12 teams start 10 isn't that for me, but hey, everyone has their cup of tea,
It's a nice thing.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. It kind of like gives you a little, like there's more at stake here. Somebody's well done in this deal, and that's, to me, DeAndre Hopkins. But we got Jonnu Smith, a first, and Nuke Hopkins, Mike, for T. Higgins in a second in a shallow lineup league, half tight end premium. Listen, Jonnu's been crazy, man, but what do you think of this deal?
He's been going off, man, but try to match it up just generically without actually diving into the old lab to see where stuff ranks without context. T. Higgins are first, Adam? I'm kind of either way on this one.
Yeah.
In this class, like if you told me that was mid to late, you could probably go either way. I would prefer T. Higgins just because I can't quit you, but if you're like, oh, that's crazy, he's junk or whatever, sure, I get it. Jonnu Smith or DeAndre Hopkins are that second. Even in a shitty class, Adam, neither one of those guys is worth a second at this point.
Mike, if you gave me Jonnu and Nuke for a second in a best ball league, I still feel the same type of ways, but I'm like, all right, maybe I'm a little more open to something crazy. It's late night. I'm ready. Go crazy. In a lineup league, Mike, Jonnu Smith's a great example of a warp tight end life, Mike. But this is the problem with people like Jonnu, just people in Dynasty where Jordan Mason early in the year was like this on steroids, right? You get guys that come out of nowhere, their Dynasty value of very, very recent. You couldn't get these guys off your team outside of cutting them pretty much. Now all of a sudden, everybody's thankful for him. Everybody's got to have Jonnu Smith. You know how many years everybody didn't have to have Jonnu Smith when I had him on some of my teams? That's the problem though, is now the A-Warp tight end life, if you had Jonnu Smith, you had some of these other tight ends that weren't highly valuable in Dynasty, great, but now what? Because you're paying full boat for him. You'd have to tell me I am going to rule the league and win the league in order to make a trade like that probably for myself. I just don't want to have to start Nuke Hopkins either unless I'm super desperate. And then I'm probably not winning.
So old J-Dub, Currently outside the playoffs, 7 seed, losing record 5-7. So that second round pick is mid. The first round pick from Space Enfield, or how the hell you want to say that name, guaranteed late, Adam. Space Enfield late, 11-1, number 1 seed right now. Just had T. Higgins, got a mid second, sent away D Hop and Jonnu Smith in a lineup start 10, which he, by looking at his roster, Jonnu might have started for him, possibly, like would have been a flex consideration or a tight end fill-in.
Yeah.
But he does have George Kittle, and when George Kittle's healthy, even with Jonnu playing well, I think I'm probably still starting Kittle. Like, I couldn't stomach Kittle putting up a fucking 40 burger sitting on my bench. No, as well as Jonnu's playing and how much I like him, man. There was very little shot DeAndre Hopkins' dusty ass was making his lineup. So
T. Higgins, you can feel however you want about him, right? I think you and I have been, I'd say you probably even realistically been higher than I have for the most part, but I've been higher than consensus. That's a player that just in market and name cachet that you want to have on one of those teams where you're buying for a title. Like if I've got Nuke Hopkins, I'm kind of feeling like, man, this is an old share of Nuke I've been wanting to get rid of. Jonnu Smith all of a sudden catches lightning in a bottle. You're set. Like here's my 25 late first that I'm trying to go win with. Right now, people are up against their deadlines in certain leagues. Hell, in the leagues I'm playing, that late second, mid second, what can I do with that now next, right? So I like it quite a bit, man. I like it quite a bit for Space Enfield. I feel like this one is just because of the format, even if the values kind of say they're similar or you feel like it's not that egregious, this is one of those where the values might look the same on one side or the other, but what you typically can do with the currency that you're getting in T. Higgins in a second on that side is massive. Not to mention for your lineup.
Major dub. If I'm old J-Dub, there's no way in the fuck I make this deal. If I'm sitting in the 7th, like DeAndre Hopkins and Jonnu Smith, and this first ain't saving my fucking season, man. They ain't saving my season.
God, no, dude.
I'd rather hold T. I'd rather hold T and wait till the offseason until he signs like, oh, look, he's the number 1 receiver for Drake May. I'm trying to speak that into existence.
I love that.
I think if I keep saying it every single show, eventually it'll happen.
I mean, listen, we're putting it in the ether. When we put stuff in the ether, Michael, let's just say crazy shit happens. I'll just put that out there. When I looked at this trade off the rip, I'm kind of thinking, all right, well, maybe if that verse is kind of a mid or you're betting against a team that like T. Higgins can't save him, I kind of got it. But you're telling me this is a guy that's going to get a buy. I'm not saying that the other team might not have had to make the deal, but I'm not taking back an old Nuke Hopkins in this scenario, man. I'm just not doing it.
Locked into the buy too. 11-1, third place is 8-4. For those of you mathing at home, there's 2 weeks left in the regular season.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are no mathematicians, but we do have the abacus, so we'll keep counting.
First round buy.
Now, speaking of, oh man, you got to wonder timing on this one, but it seems probable that because Mr. Wonderful's getting him in a pick that he already knew. Curious your thoughts though. J.K. Dobbins, week to week. I'll tell you this much. I don't even have to know because he's already hurt. Yeah, I agreed. I'm agreeing probably. At the same point, what I was getting ready to say is, can we acknowledge the bounce back that he had without injury again after the absolutely gruesome start to his career he's dealt with injuries, right? I feel bad for him again because, he found a home with the other Harbaugh in a run-first team, defied the odds, and then everyone kind of forgot until, here we are. Unfortunately, the injury bug catches him, and at the worst of times, too. What would you rather have, though? JK in a second, if you're Mr. Wonderful, and I'd imagine in this league he's probably not going for it, but at the same point, I mean, I'm just not getting off Chuba. I am going for it. Or would you rather have Chuba here?
Chuba with that contract. JK was nice. He was nice, especially the start of the season. The last few weeks have been like, you kind of had this slow tail off pretty much ever since one of the first trade shows we did this season, where I showed me trading for him in the league with Koopa for Quentin Johnston, and that didn't go well. That's straight up, but I don't know. I probably still would have rather had Chuba. Got the contract for what it's worth. Been playing really well. JK does have the massive injury history, and apparently God hates him for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know of anybody else besides maybe Cam Akers who has worse luck.
And they were
you did to the football gods, man.
Man, and it felt like we both loved him and Akers, and it's like, man, you catching these guys, these young, exciting backs with a bunch of injuries. And Mike, I don't know if you caught this part, early in the year when they were on prime time, he had a chance to talk after the game because he was going crazy in the early part of the year, and people weren't even sure if he'd play, a full season. That's kind of bad timing now, but this much in, he said after he tore his ACL to his Ravens teammates, when they're all kind of looking at him like, this is just crazy. How does this keep happening? The response was, I'm built for this. Right? I'm built for this.
He's tough.
He is, man. Like, it's a different type of mindset for you to, I think, have to battle all those injuries. So I'm rooting for Ohio State guy as well. But listen, man, all that goes away because Chuba Hubbard, another guy that I've been fond of, and Mike, the best part about him is that he's been playing so well last year, and then obviously this year, even well past that. When he gets that contract, man, it really came out of what felt like left field. I'm not going to say that it wasn't in the cards for them to keep him, but when he got bagged in the middle of the season before Brooks returned, it's like, okay. Like, again, you don't want to value running backs too much in the big picture, but that I will value in the big picture. And with the schedule, say whatever you want about Brooks, I am not worried and concerned at all, buddy. Chuba Hubbard, man, let's go. And especially if Bryce Young starts looking like he did versus KC. Woo.
I kind of get the sentiment, like, you down tier to an injured guy. Mr. Hornfield's out of the playoffs, like, not going to make the playoffs. Like, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. You get an extra pick. I get that. My biggest problem with always down tiering is, like, at the running back position, I really don't want a fucking running back. I really don't. Like, that, especially because J.K. Dobbins honestly could just go to 0 this offseason. With this draft class coming up,
it's not like we've never seen it before, him go to 0. You know what I mean? Like, he came back, but his value went dead. Yeah.
I mean, the Chargers are going to have picks in the range, where they're going to end up with the running back. And listen, there's 2 running backs coming out. I mean, guaranteed to come out. Like, they have to come out. They're out of eligibility that Jim Harbaugh used to coach. I mean, you saw him pick up Hassan Haskins the minute he was fucking cut from Tennessee and continually use this fucking guy.
I was going to say, you loved his usage. He's been playing.
You don't think that he wouldn't be intrigued with Kyle Mullins or Donovan Edwards? If he can get him in the 3rd or 4th round, 5th round, maybe for Mullins or later. We don't know what's going to happen. So with J.K. Dobbins' injury history, his ties to Greg Roman, I get all that shit. The Harbaugh ties too, because he played for his brother. I still don't want to bet on it because this is an asset, come April, Adam, you're like, well, he's definitely dead.
Well, that's cooked. Well, that's cooked. Tesco's cooked. Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm thinking both with the, it's LA too. They're trying. I guess that's part of my problem is not with Dobbins, but, it's LA and they're trying to like put more spotlight on this team. I feel like that I really care to see with the style of play. I'm like, so Harbaugh was up there. I don't know if you saw, he said, if you love football, you love me. And I'm like, but what I'm thinking, Mike, is that came directly into my head as you're telling me, who he would probably love to get, like Hassan Hat. You telling me he wouldn't be intrigued by that? Oh, buddy, intrigued. Let me up your intrigued. He would love that player. Yeah, I think the JK, so actually that's a very good point. And the reason I think it's even a bigger point here is because, so Mike, I will be in a situation like this. So I have Chuba Hubbard, right? And obviously, I'm looking to probably get off of Chuba Hubbard if I'm not looking to contend this year. I think sometimes that can be, a point that's misconstrued, like, oh, well, he just got the bag, he'll be good next year. I get it. I'm not saying you can't have him for next year, but his value is great now, and it could go up, but also you could take on the injury risk like JK here. The biggest problem with JK to this is a lot of times if I'm getting a running back down tier, you and I are in agreement, like I'm good. The only difference is if JK wasn't hurt here, Mike, let's say that I'm going down, just tearing down the running back position, and then I know I can flip again. Cool. But you can't flip Dobbins. I mean, I don't know, maybe.
He was hard enough to flip this year when he was playing and playing well.
That's what when I say maybe, you have to have the playoff deadline off, right? It's like you got to go with the sliders, take the playoff deadline off. We always have them off, and you got to hope he comes back. and has a window again where people believe and will buy. It is a 14 team, so like, I don't know. I'm not very optimistic that you're going to be able to, parlay this thing, if you will, right? Now flip Dobbins again. Because what I don't want to have to do in general with a JK is have him all offseason on a rebuild. He's going to have no value. He's going to go down. Bad.
He had Hollywood Brown on his team. Like Hollywood Brown in the second, if you wanted to get off Chuba.
I mean, I would, what I would do at this point? And Dobbins. You can just throw me Hollywood, just us. I mean, but Chuba, honestly, this is the one point I'll make, right? If you're Mr. Wonderful, you want to get off of Chuba Hubbard. So I get it. And I think I said this last trade show, it's like 80, 90% of the time, Mr. Wonderful just, checks the boxes is what he does. He does throw us a lob here every now and again. But let's call it what it is, man. I don't know where that second is, but this 25 class, I still would rather have Chuba, I think. But the other point is right now, I'm getting ready and I'm trying to go win some leagues. Now, damn it, I might not win them, but Mike, there's a big point I'm getting ready to kind of think about and make some really good points, I think, on some bigger pieces and some content either towards the end of the year here or certainly when the season starts season's over, I'm sorry. Like, if this was not a Chuba Hubbard, right? Sometimes people that have a player that's just dying, a Nuke Hopkins from the prior deal, like, yeah, that's a player you just probably have to get rid of. You don't have any leverage here. Like, Chuba Hubbard in a playoff push right here, I actually have some leverage, and my leverage is right now. Like, it's literally at this moment. So that's probably another bigger part of the reason why I say what I say on that side. Let us know, Mr. Wonderful. I don't find it wonderful. Thankful for you. Throw me one of those deals every now and again. Speaking of DFC, and we're going 14 team again. Like, where are all these people finding friends? I didn't even know we got people in 14 team leagues. Come on, man. This is a man. One of the things about 14 teams, we played in some. Oh man, 14 teams this time of year can get crazy because people are just running out of bodies. I'm looking at all the players in this deal, but the crazy part to me is you could think it's crusty, right? But it ain't crusty. Jameis Winston, Cortland Sutton, Jacoby Myers, Michael Pittman, Shakir. These are guys that at one point, at least during this season, if not other seasons, have been on the top priority of, oh shit, it's over. It's tough. It's so done. CD Lamb and Minshew, though, like it's CD still, but it's a best ball start 12, dodgeball best balls, Mike. 14 teams. I could care less about Minshew. Minshew manias never was a thing. Been dead. Third and fourth, mildly interested in, but that's a lot of firepower. I get it, gross. What do you say?
Taking the gross. If I'm competing here, these are the dirty, disgusting best ball moves you make. And Deep Sea is an avid listener of best ball content and applying it right here. CeeDee Lamb is the headliner, and you're like, wow, none of these guys. Best ball's a different fucking breed, and I don't know how many times I got to tell people that, or how many times I have to show people that you essentially just did a 1 for 5. 1 for 5 with all dudes that can potentially make your lineup every single fucking week. It's the 5. CeeDee Lamb's amazing, but I'll pick the 5.
Yeah.
Right now, no fucking question.
Yeah, I think, a point that I'm getting ready to make here that okay. There's probably a little bit of a disconnect for some people listening on a couple different ways. One, obviously you already hit on with best ball, right? So we're looking at best ball start 12 here. So think about it this way. If you have 12 people that you're starting in a lineup league, right? You're looking at 3 receivers, 2 running backs, a tight end, maybe 2, right? Depending on if the double tight end. Now this one isn't, but 2 quarterbacks. You're praying you don't want to have a non-quarterback in your super flex spot, and 3 flexes. 3 flexes. You're talking about it this late in the season. You're thankful for any of these guys in a lineup league, really. Now, go to best ball where this is probably 30 roster spots. I'd venture to say something in that range. Buddy, these guys all have a chance to hit my lineup on a weekly basis. Not just that, though. That's point one and A, which you've probably heard us talk about at some point if you listened before. Mike, this is now 14 teams. So we're spreading, we're casting spider's web across 2 more teams. You give me these 5 players versus teams that are thinner in general. Oh, I'm praying that people think I got gaped on this deal and that I have 1 or 2 more, studs hanging around that I could get gaped again,
Yeah, as the guy who's sitting as the number 2 seed right now with Deep Sea in contention at the 5th, kind of pissed me off. Know what I mean? No,
yeah. So,
and hey, here's the beauty of it.
D-Verg, what's up, man?
Flex league. It's an all flex league, Adam.
Is it really
all flex?
No, and this is super flex and then flex, right?
Quarterback, one super flex,
and then the rest flexes.
Yeah, the other 10 are gonna be traditional flexes.
Yeah, the all flex. That's fun though, because roster construction can get crazy. For example, to your point though, like where that's so big is I don't have to start a running back, I don't have to go crazy. Right now, if you have a bunch of them, sure, that's great. But if I could beat you with, say what you want. I know it sounds crazy and crusty, but Jacoby Myers, I'm not even going to tell you. I've been telling you. You saw it. Yeah. You saw it last week. Sutton's got a huge revival. Pittman, I want to believe like Mike does, but I'm okay. If I could be like Mike. And then Khalil Shakir, I was out, but I would love to be in at this price. I think it's really hard to trade a CeeDee Lamb when you don't get a player back, which you feel you would trade a first for comfortably. That's why this trade gets done. And that's why D-Verg, I hope and pray that you are ready to multiply assets in a big way, because that typically gonna cost you, man.
It's gonna be tough.
I mean, you could do it, but it's gonna be, when you say tough, it's gonna be really tough, bro. All right, we got Dynasty Douchebags.
Sorry for D-Verg, he's playing it too much more like traditional lineup leagues, which I watch people be gaped when they do that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. I remember getting gaped a couple times. I still get gaped, but that's one of those where it's clear, like you haven't played a lot of best ball, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, that sucks. Mike, what do you think of this deal here? Well, not Google. Trying to get the warp tool up here for us, but Justin Herbert being acquired for Dak Prescott, a second, and Sammy Darnold. Lineup start 9. So just everything we were just talking about there, completely 180 degrees, go the other way here on this lineup start 9, half PPR. The quarterback position at the high end levels is already, it's a driver of Superflex, as we talk about. Here's, I guess, the theme of the show, which is interesting. Oh man, everything is like, it's cyclical. It is. It's cyclical. Like we were talking 2 weeks ago. Feels like nobody wants to trade. All of a sudden, guess what's close? The playoffs. Guess who's all of a sudden not going to make the playoffs? What the problem is, you guys weren't willing to make trade 2 weeks ago, and now everybody's just taking dead bodies? We're taking dead bodies.
I don't understand it. If I'm Snow Dirt. I like you Dirty. Snow Dirt.
I'm not even sure if it was as funny, but as the way you said it, I was like, damn, I love that.
When Dak and Herbert are both healthy, Dak's pretty close to Herbert.
Sure. Right. I mean, for fantasy, for sure. I mean, sorry, Phil.
I would say if Dak is healthy, Dak in a second for Herbert is a reasonable trade across 95% of the leagues, right? Because people are going to value Justin Herbert because it's Justin Herbert and the name and the youth, and Dak's had bad moments and questionable moments, whatever the fuck case is.
Sure.
I say with Dak Prescott injured, and you want me to take this on and give you a healthy quarterback playing right now and take your injured quarterback, the tax is a fuck ton more than Sam Darnold. Now maybe people are under this illusion that Sam Darnold's getting a Geno Smith type contract next year and starting somewhere else.
I was going to lead you there. I had a feeling you'd go, but to me, Mike, that was where you just said what I was already thinking. I thought this was the Jared Goff tax. Like, hey, I'm taking Sam Darnold. Oh no, you got to pay up for that. Like, I mean, the problem is, it feels like we're going so many different ways on the other side, which is not necessarily what I'm trying to do. I get the Dak thing if you think he's going to come back. Okay, I'm not saying that isn't possible, but doesn't it feel like Darnold is supposed to be going to a team trying to go win?
Mm-hmm. Like you'd want them you want a cheap quarterback buy because you're like, whatever you do for 24 will be enough. Sam Darnold's played shitty enough at times this year in an offense that he should absolutely be thriving in. The system, a coach.
Yeah.
He's got the talent around him. Like the first month was fantastic, Adam. You're like, oh my God, look at this.
Here we fucking go, huh? Right?
Since then, a lot of it's been like, yeah, JJ McCarthy's definitely starting this fucking team next year. Like, they're not going to have a problem saying goodbye to him when nobody offers him. If they do offer him. Well, here's the thing, too. Like, maybe he gets that offer, Adam, and he goes somewhere to be the starting quarterback.
He probably will because of just
Jets. Oh, we should look like the Jets. But, like, he's going to go to a shittier organization with shittier talent around him. Probably just your head coach. Man, awesome. And he's going to fail very soon.
I mean, there's calling your shot, but like, yeah, for sure.
He had the absolute best of the best this year and has looked very mid of late. So I'm being honest. There's no way that I'm putting him in as like, oh, fuck yeah. You know, like I'm projecting him for 25. Like he's not a future move. He's starting right now for the Vikings. What can you give me in 24?
Sure. I mean, I do think, to your point, he's going to end up probably getting a job somewhere next year because, I mean, 25 class is only going to bring so many, man. I mean, I hope we keep seeing, Levis play better, Bryce play better. I mean, people won't. I'm going to not talk about all the different quarterbacks because not everyone's playing better. But point is, there's a scarcity problem in the real NFL big time. So he'll probably get a job. But I guess here's the thing with Sam Darnold. This is likely going to be one of the best situations you could go into where you aren't, franchise quarterback, right? Really viewed by the team. And you got the keys for at least a short time, right? Like, talking about a joyride, like, all right, this ain't my car, but I go take it for a spin, right? Justin Jefferson, to the point you made, I didn't even know this. He isn't even having a ton of touchdowns. But he's better than he's been in the past. He's definitely has some upside in the offense weekly. I'm not gonna, But isn't that all about this year for the most part?
Yeah.
Now, where will he land next year? I don't know. Who else will land there next year? I don't know.
Is he the one to fix Vegas?
Mike, I'll tell you though, I think, I'm not telling you right or wrong, I think there's enough people though that do believe that he's going to have a chance still in Minnesota. I'm going to tell you that this is not Kirk Cousins, although I'm not even sure how, speaking to him, we'll leave him for another trade or another talk. But I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the difference in baggage, the big bag versus the, come here, I'll sign you for. I don't get it. I don't get it with Sam Darnold outside of if I'm trying to go win and I need a quarterback or I feel like it would help me out. Like lineup start 9-2 in a league like this. You want quarterbacks, but you don't want the guys that don't have long-term value. Those guys kind of just get passed around,
Mm-hmm. I mean, Kirk Cousins left Minnesota, left that system, went to another one that was, I don't know, pretty decent, in my opinion. Pretty good weapons there. And outside of games versus Tampa Bay has looked like ass. Looked terrible. Like we're probably done with the Achilles excuse at this point, ain't we? He just looked like ass. Sam Darnold's gonna leave this situation and go somewhere probably a lot worse, and it's gonna look like. And when I say like he's not been good, number 4 in the entire league in danger plays, number 4 in the entire league in interceptable passes.
That doesn't sound good.
Quarterback friendly system. It's not good.
I mean, yeah, to the point, like, I don't want to keep going down the Cousins tangent. We'll save that for AMA tonight, which we're going to be doing here in a little bit. But like, I think there's reason to believe, and I talked about this before the season, that Cousins, if he doesn't do really, really well, won't hold on to the job. I mean, listen, McCarthy getting hurt is definitely tough, and he didn't have, a lot of playing time, or, we haven't seen a lot, let me say, not necessarily playing time. We haven't seen a lot from him having to throw the ball. But didn't they draft him in the first round? I think it's the better version of what we heard in Minnesota before. Like, I've seen enough of him in practice,
I think the simplest thing on this trade, and I would have ignored the Sam Darnold because it was like, whatever, you got to toss in, cool, who gives a shit? That second needs to be a first. Plain and simple. Ended it.
I like that call. I agree, but here's the point. Like, you know what? To that point you're making, this is where in a league like before, like, let me go back and just show, if you were just tuning into this part, you didn't see it. In a league like this, a 14 team, best ball start 12, Mike. The difference in a first and a second, I don't tell you it doesn't exist, but there's this is a different kind of universe where we're not really on the planet of Earth, really, right? If you think about it that way. Now we go to here. This is a different extreme, right? You get the 10 team, it'd be the same concept. I'm not telling you a second is invaluable. I'm not telling you people don't make great picks with seconds and don't trade them at the right time for good things, but this is a throw-in in a deal like this versus a first would be, I don't know, man. How am I Herbert like that? Don't they have, Harbaugh's kind of capping his ceiling. All of a sudden you get that type of talk, because I think I'm with you. I think he kind of got nickeled and dimed here. Sorry, but I'm not sorry. Joe Fest, be thankful. Be very thankful. The fall of Constantinople, it's amazing how this league keeps getting in here. I'm just like, what's going on, Blitz? How you doing, buddy? Let's see how you're doing. Oh, what a time. Come on. What a time to put a trade out there with the Tua and Waddle stack. Are you fucking kidding me? No way in hell. That's, I mean, obviously, but that is, Now, I will admit, Addison had himself a nice little day too. So, I mean, I don't know. You could say he kind of traded that one because, but here's the thing. We talked about this deal. He, sent me the DM. We kind of were talking about it, and I wasn't sure which side he was on at first. And I was giving him the reasons for each side. And when he kind of spelled his team out, like, if you don't have in a best ball league, right, a pretty damn secure quarterback room, or you are, let's say, even light on total number of bodies, but you have 2 good ones where, shit, man, we get into the playoffs here, any one of them could go down. Knock on wood, you don't want that to happen, but it could. Buddy, a late first of yours for Tua, I get the head injuries, I get the concerns, but that seems like a deal that I'm just going to make, right? I tend to make those, and if I lose, it could definitely suck. But the reason I say that is because, I mean, outside of this year, I will admit this year you could get some quarterbacks in the late first. Typically you don't in 24, right? But typically at the late first, you don't even get a quarterback in the class that you like.
Opportunity, yeah. Right.
Let alone be able to trade it or maneuver it into one. So this is one of those, just at the time, it feels like, even if you don't love Waddle, which I know we don't, I'm okay. I'm good. Let's go. You
hit a lot of it. 2 for the late first, because Blitz is competing, by the way, in case you guys don't know. 3rd in the league right now.
Well, after last week, I'd imagine he is,
2 for the late second in a best ball league. That's pretty easy. Like, just give it to me. And then Addison or Waddle, who gives a fuck? But right. I'll lean the stack. I'll always lean the stack there if I got the choice between the 2. I would do that straight up, no matter what side I had, just to get that stack. So pretty easy one. The only thing I will say is since Blitz wants to sneak this in and sneak this league in and, show off right after the Tua Waddle blow up. Blitz, you listen to a lot of our stuff and take a lot of it away. I'm still curious why the fuck CJ Stroud's still on your team. Answer that one for me, buddy.
Well, maybe I'll tell you one thing. What I'm not going to do is try to act like I know what Blitz is thinking. I will say though, it is funny because I was looking at it and thinking about it, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay, that was elite. It wasn't just because of that. Like I'm thinking, there's no way you found a deal where you got Waddle and Tua stack, but he got it ahead of time. It's probably paid off pretty nicely for him right now, but we'll see in the long run what Waddle does, Mike. Here we go. Okay, Broski Mike is getting Jaylen Wright. Oh, trade didn't finish up. Big Mama's Basement Bunch, 12-team Superflex, half PPR, half tight end premium, lineup start 10. We got Jaylen Wright, Brandon Ayuk, Chris Olave, 25 first. Some names up there. We got Xavier Worthy, Tony Pollard, Kenneth Walker, Garrett Wilson. Got some names down there. Huh. Which side do you want in this deal, buddy?
Obi's just showing off, man. Yeah, showing off. There's not a lot of analysis here, but I'll give you the quick and dirty. All right. Adam, you got some Xavier Worthy concerns, but Worthy or Ayuk on a contender?
Sorry, I was muted there, but yeah, I mean, listen, I'm out of the Ayuk business. I'm trying to be. It's harder than you think right now, honestly.
That's easy, man. Slam dunk to Xavier Worthy on that point. Chris Olave in the first. Chris Olave being out for the season, or Garrett Wilson.
Well, I mean, these guys...
So lineups are 10. Lineups are 10 too. No bet.
Dude, I mean, well, these guys in general over the course of their careers, right? Like, it's been back and forth who you want. I've always been more Garrett Wilson. I think you've gone back and forth and always been a little more Olave, and that's fine. But we're talking about at this point in their careers, what? Garrett Wilson's shown, I think, a little more promise, but they both have been inconsistent. But one's playing, one's not. It's Garrett Wilson. I think market leans him anyway, so I'm good.
And Jaylen Wright,
well,
either one of those front backs, and the other one's free. However you want to slice it. I
mean, I didn't think you were gonna. Well, let me tell you what I'm gonna do. There's a piece of this deal that does not belong, buddy. No, thank you. And it's Jaylen Wright.
Why is he in this at all?
I mean, so you're trying to get rid of stuff you're not going to be using, or you think you're not going to be using. Like, but this is a smash, man. Honestly, for me, right?
I'd love to. I go to the lab and I see Obi immediately has all those guys at a starting lineup. Just fuck it,
dude. Holy crap! Wait, dude. Lineup start 10 to get. Oh my gosh, you're here. I got to get this off the screen.
Oh, sorry. The only one he doesn't have in his starting lineup right now is Tony Pollard.
Well, we got to make that. We got to fix that part because we got to get Tony in there.
That's because he's got Kyron Williams, Josh Jacobs, and Kenneth Walker starting in start 10.
And half PPR. That's like Mike. It's really like we're back in the old days, huh? Like, damn.
Yeah.
You get that was how it was in the old days. I'm like, just give me 4 running backs that I think could dominate in a half PPR league like this. We're good to go, man. We are good to go. I think in the Big Mama's Basement Bunch, he just might have he might have the basement to himself.
I think so. I think he's got the whole thing now. Good for him. Good.
Dude, I mean, that's one of those teams, like, obviously, you got Pollard and you have your concerns if you get through the season, because with a lot of those guys, but Mike, if you do get through the playoffs with those guys healthy, the crazy part about that is you could have them all go off at once, which is a complete nuclear bomb, but you also have the upside of like, hey, you could end up taking one of these guys or 2 of these guys that have a middle week. The other one could go for 30. So you're in a really good spot.
I did have a trade this week. I didn't send it to you because I was trying to share the spotlight. I didn't think about it, but we'll fit it in here. Barry's Triple Crown League.
For those that don't know, that's a 3 different league here. Triple Crown. Let's go.
Triple Crown League. In one of them, Barry has a very outside shot of even winning money in that league. So the payout structure is win the Triple Crown, win all 3 in total points, get a shit ton of money. But you can win some money for each individual league. Barry had kind of an outside chance in that league at maybe getting second, which pays out next to nothing.
Nothing! You've got nothing!
Not even really worth it. He is way out of the Triple Crown. Wasn't going to happen. He had Derrick Henry. I'm in the mix and everything to win leagues, to win the Triple Crown, the whole thing. So I sent my first round pick in that league for Derrick Henry.
The king?
The king.
It's a simple deal. I'm a simple man. It makes sense. That's a good deal. I'm glad it got done. I'll say this, that deal, if it wouldn't have gotten done, just in general, I've seen stuff like that where, listen, man, I'm not going to deny if you're rebuilding, regardless of that, like, sure, Derrick Henry, he hasn't actually been as great as he once was early in the year. I still think he's going to be fine. He still has that upside. So, yeah, you don't want to move him, but why not? Is someone paying more? Like, I guess that's the other thing. What you don't want to do, as much as I hate to say this, because it seems like how many years have I been saying this? I don't want to keep having Derrick Henry on a rebuilder of mine, and it's time to move him, right? Let me go see if someone else can win with this guy, and let me get something valuable back that's going to help me go the way I need to go. You know, we're passing in the night. Let's see if we can get something done. I like it.
See if we can get something done. We got it done on Thursday night, Savage voice chat, watching the game.
I love it, man.
I was very, very honest with DB, too, talking about it. So I said, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm willing to pay. I need him. You really don't. If I was in your shoes on the opposite side, exactly what you said, though, Adam. I'm being dead honest. If I was out of it and didn't really have a chance to win anything but a measly part of my league dues back for this league, or even if I were to win second place luck into it, I'm just fucking pivoted now. Eject.
Yeah.
We'll start this thing fresh, man. And you know what doesn't get hurt, injured, or suspended? That fucking draft pick.
Yeah,
that may be accruing value. And the crazy thing is, too, we talk about dynasty cycles, Adam. I guarantee, hypothetically, if I go on and win this thing and cash out, if DB came to me in fucking April and he's like, listen, I'll give you that 112 back. I want Derrick Henry. I'm probably open to doing that at that time. Like, I already won my money. You could have him fucking back if you want.
Here you go. He's yours. Keep him.
Go ahead.
I do. I agree with you. It was on the trade show. You got Derrick Henry for a first, and I'm not necessarily surprised, actually, Mike. I've seen it coming. I mean, it's just what happens, right? I was a little surprised, I guess, two of the trades today where at this point, right, I've tried like hell to kind of fight the good fight. I'm fighting an uphill battle. I'm swimming upstream. All right, time to get out of the water before I drown. But I don't want to wave the white flag and take guys that are like completely dead when those assets are kind of bailouts for the teams that have finally waited for this now, right? I don't want to take on the aging J.K. Dobbins and have to go into the offseason with him possibly. I kind of get the Dak one, but it felt like there wasn't enough around it with Darnold or a second, right? And a deal like that. Like, I just don't want to be at the same point while I want to make sure I'm not like trying to leverage a player that has no time left. I also don't want to just get nickeled and dimed because you have a couple weeks before the deadline or before the playoffs start where this is your window to leverage a little more for certain players. And I think that's the biggest point for me is there's a fine line, and I don't want to just give people that are in the market for trying to buy anything they can with their dead bodies, and I'm one of the only ones willing to take them. Well, you got to pay up more.
Some of y'all were way too fucking soft. Adam gave you the eloquent voice. Y'all were soft as baby shit. Fucking disgusting.
You're like, what's his name? Screaming at that kid. Melis, you seen that?
Yeah, yes, Brian Kelly screaming.
But you could see like the angle of it too. Right. Exactly.
You don't fucking listen.
Yeah, who the fuck you think you are? It's crazy. It was awesome that they got the angle so you could see it, man.
I was gonna go with Key and Peele, Obama's anger translator. Very nice, eloquent speech, and I'm just back there just with the hands.
Hey,
y'all soft as baby shit.
I love it.
Fucking suck. So we appreciate everybody in here. Hope everybody did have a great holiday. There'll be another one coming up, surprisingly, because this fucking year is flying by.
Oh yeah,
I'm
absolutely flying, bro.
December. It's gonna be December. Just by the time they're watching this, a day away. A day away, but. We're very thankful for everybody who tunes into this one. And like I said before, if you want your deals featured, you want to come on here and not be soft as baby shit and get made fun of, patreon.com/South Harmon. You know where it is. Let's do this, Adam.
Let's do it, baby. And won't be that soft, but this is shit, South Harmon. We'll see you back here. Same time, same place, next week. As long as you keep submitting the trades, because our leagues are still open for trades. We love you. Peace.
Peace.
40 chess. Hey. 40 chess. This a trade show. Patreon where the trades go. Tap in and watch. That's what you came for. Ain't gotta say my name. They know my name, bro.